We are closer to the end of this bull cycle than the beginning. That's just common sense. And XRP, it made a move, a big one early, going from 50 cents to over $3. But that was just the opening act here. Despite those gains, the token remains severely undervalued, with multiple catalysts ahead of us. Now, next on deck, you know what it is. It's the XRP ETF, which is widely expected to be approved next month. When that happens, it's going to unlock a flood of institutional capital and, most importantly, renewed momentum. There's no reason to believe XRP won't outperform as we close out this cycle, just like it did to open it. It's the star of the show here. It is the name that everyone's talking about. Now let's discuss why. XRP, it's got its own gaming layer. You have Litecoin throwing shaded XRP. Maybe Litecoin should look at itself. Let's take one more look at that situation. The SEC and CFTC just issued a joint statement confirming that U.S. exchanges can finally move forward with spot crypto listings. The battle we've been fighting, it's over now. Even the Fed is now openly discussing crypto and AI together. A public conference this October will focus on stablecoins, tokenization, and next-gen payments, all in XRP's wheelhouse. Isn't that interesting? Institutions are quietly preparing for the next wave of adoption, and it's all about real-world assets, payments, compliance. XRP is designed for all of these. Let's get into all the stories here. The first one, I hinted at this, XRP gets its own gaming layer, and it's actually built to scale. I can tell you this is the one area that I'm really short on my investments. I have DeFi, I have some AI plays. I don't have a lot of gaming, and I should, because one of the first use cases that really scales in a big way will probably be exactly that, gaming. The users inherently understand that digital items, they have real world value. This should be a layup here. And I think once we see sweeping regulatory clarity, your big gaming studios, they're going to jump in here. They're going to want part of this because a lot of these games, the in-game economy is really the moneymaker. And XRP just leveled up. Welcome to the on-chain arcade era. For the first time, XRP holders can actually use their tokens in games. B3 layer, it's a layer 3 network. It runs on top of the layer 2, which is the EVM sidechain, and also, of course, the main chain, the XRP Ledger. It's the Xcade platform, this slick arcade game where you don't have to download stuff to your phones or anything like that, and interactive earning. So this could be a lot of momentum, and it's good to see this type of thing coming to the XRP Ledger. I was reading about this. It's being built with the help of XRP Ledger Commons, so you know it's legit, and this could be really big. Again, it's built off of, I believe, Base, and it links up with the EVM sidechain and the main chain, and we're just seeing a lot going on here on this blockchain. Times have changed. That sure is the case. Now, we see Litecoin, and they're just doing it for attention. You know, they keep throwing shaded XRP. It doesn't really matter. It's not like anyone, if they weren't talking about XRP, no one would pay attention to what Litecoin's saying on X. But you know what? If they want to take shots, let's look at their founder, who in late 2017 was telling the everyday person, hodl for dear life. And then within the next week, he sold every Litecoin he had, starting on the day he was telling everyone to hodl for your life. And he sold out his bags at an average of $205, which, by the way, Litecoin is under that right now. So Charlie Lee made a good move there by selling out totally while telling everyone else, every other bag holder, you need to hodl for your life while he was selling. That is ridiculous. There's nothing wrong with selling some of your own tokens. But to tell other people to hodl for the moon while you're selling everything is nonsense. You know, Litecoin is what it is. It's been around a long time. It has some definitely a user base. It has daily liquidity and volume, all that. Great. But it's never going to be a top 5 coin again. It'll never be a top 10 coin again. I doubt it'll ever be a top 20 coin again. It's just really not very relevant. But what's really interesting here, you'll notice, from Litecoin to unrelated chains like Chainlink to Swift. One of the Swift executives was going after Ripple and XRP the other day. You know, we're at the center of this whole thing. And the haters are going to come out of the woodworks. That's fine. It tells you we're winning. We are on everyone's mind, and everyone can try to get a little bit of attention by messing around with the XRP community. But I wouldn't suggest they push it too far because they're going to get it here. Now, SEC and CFTC, they just united. Years of turf wars. Remember, they were arguing over who has authority over cryptocurrencies. They're finally playing ball together here. Historic joint statement. For the first time ever, SEC and CFTC issued a joint statement confirming exchanges can legally list for spot crypto products, that you should have the right to trade and to have these types of products out there as long as the thing's not a security and it's all compliant. Why not? And so they're not going to try to fight this anymore. That's good news because we expect, again, next month the XRP ETF to be approved. And it seems like they're kind of setting the stage for there. Major exchanges have been greenlit. And New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, the CME, they can all support crypto, giving markets a choice and transparency. And this is a great way for a lot of people to invest into the space. And so it just shows they're looking to work with this space. And they're not trying to play daddy and tell you what's a good investment and what's a bad investment. That's not their job. It's just to protect investors and make sure there are sound products out there for you to make your own decisions. And that's what we see happening here. Just to remind you, another week of the deal. It's coming back for one more week. Get yourself a Ledger product. You get some free Bitcoin. If you get their flagship Ledger stacks, you get $80 in Bitcoin. The Ledger Nano X, $149. You get $50 in Bitcoin. Link down below. Check it out. It's only good, this deal, for this week, and then it goes away. If you want to self-custody your crypto, stay safe. What a great deal. You get a great hardware wallet, and you get some free crypto, and you don't have to leave it in Bitcoin. You could swap it into, XRP, FLR, something like that. Up to you. Do what you wish there. All right. The Federal Reserve. They're now talking about crypto and AI in a public forum. The Fed is hosting a payments innovation conference. All the things that XRP is about, talking about stablecoins, cross-border payments, tokenization, and of course AI integration, which is all important. These are the pillars of the future of finance, of the future of our societies, and they're taking this serious. They want efficiency improvements in international payments and settlement systems, digital representation of financial products, so stocks, bonds, all these types of things, gold, real estate. They're going to put it all on chain. And again, this is a great opportunity for those chains that can meet that need, whether it's the Ethereum blockchain, the XRP Ledger, and quite a few others. If you meet that demand, man, you're going to be a hot commodity. You best believe. And XRP is right in the middle of all of that. The next institutional crypto boom, it's already lining up here. What are the main catalysts here? Well, stablecoins are a big one. And I think being able to use those stablecoins efficiently is also going to be important. Can you send a payment cheap? Efficiently? Is it fast? That's going to be important. And stablecoins are going to run over the XRP ledger in a world-class manner, whether it's RLUSD, USDC. They're all going to do quite well here. So I'm glad to see that. Tokenization, RWAs, real-world assets, bringing them on chain. This has been a huge focus of Ripple. We got another announcement a few slides down the way about that. But your institutions, they're begging for this, even more than payments. And we know the XRP Ledger was originally built for exactly this use case. They're not jumping on a hot trend. This is what it was built for day one, to be able to take any sort of value, put it on the blockchain, and be able to trade those assets efficiently. That's going to be probably the biggest growth in all of crypto as we continue forward. Payment infrastructure. Now, programmable finance. That's one of the areas we really have lacked in the past, but now we have the EVM sidechain, which is going to kind of be a stopgap and fix that issue. And then we're going to have mainnet programmability. Even though it will be light programmability, it will give us what we need on the main chain. And that's coming as soon as well. So XRP Ledger set up great for all of this kind of stuff. And this is really the focus. This is the main things. If you can do this, you're going to get a lot of adoption. Your Ethereums, your XRP Ledgers, your SWIs, your Cardanos, stuff like this. Do you have the capability that everyone needs? That's what you should be looking for, because those are the chains that are going to see adoption here. I got this question. Thinking of buying more XRP at $3. This person said, well, should I add more XRP at $3 when my average is 25 cents? This is the deal, and this is the way I look at it. Buying higher, it's not always a bad move, right? Profits are profits. If it's $3 and you think it's going to go higher, it doesn't really matter what you originally bought in at, right? But myself, I bought from 18 to essentially the last day it was trading on Coinbase there in January of 2021, consistently and heavily. So to me, rather than to buy up my average cost, it's been better to diversify and get other crypto investments and build out my portfolio a bit. That's fine as well. It just depends on how you want to approach it. But just because you bought a bunch of XRP at 20 cents, 25 cents, 35 cents, doesn't mean it's bad to buy more at $2.80. There's going to be a lot of upside here, I feel. It just depends on how you want to approach this. Great question by Michael Angelos, 5117. Again, you buy premium cryptos, hold them for the long term, you will do well here. Now, last one here. XRPL identity stack is going live. So DIDs, decentralized identifiers, that's already live. And within the next 2 hours, credentials should go live. Lastly, we have permission domains and permission dexes. This is so important because your BlackRocks, for instance, or even Ripple themselves, they can't interact with unknowns. They might be doing deals with a sanctioned country, for instance, or someone else like that, a money launderer, and they're going to get in a lot of trouble. So they got to make sure the people in these pools and in these systems have been KYC'd, vetted, and they're allowed to be in there. That's just the way it's going to be for those types of systems. And so this allows XRP Ledger to do exactly that, to service those types of users, those institutional use cases where they have to know everyone using that system that they built has been cleared and is good to be in there. It doesn't mean that we can't use the regular DEX ourselves and freely trade, but those are different types of systems. And so this really clears the way for that. I've been saying it. I think not only is BlackRock going to jump in here and issue an XRP ETF, I think they're going to leverage this technology as well. This type of thing really clears the way. So we got 2 out of the 4 we need, 3 more, and we will be game time for those really institutional use cases for RWAs and trade. And this is building for the future very quickly. And I think we will see adoption in a big way as we go forward. Lastly, Ripple put this out. They expect 10%, think of this, 10% of global assets to be tokenized by 2030. And, Ripple's right now focused on enterprise security, stablecoin support, compliance tools, making sure that they get a chunk of that. Think of that, 10% of global assets. We're talking about real estate, stocks, bonds, gold, you name it, fiat currencies, all of that kind of stuff. It's going to be going on chain. And so, if you can capture a large percentage of that 10%, you're going to see the value of your blockchain go up in a big way, and also your business, of course. For Ripple, the business that they're servicing that, a good chunk of that, man, it's going to be a totally different world once we get there. So this is really the focus where you want to be on. What chains can meet that demand of real world assets going on chain? That's a lot of growth by 2030. Right now it's de minimis, and by 2030 it'll be 1/10 of the whole global asset supply. That is huge growth. And again, I think the XRP Ledger is well suited to capture a lot of that growth, and that's exciting. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.